And I'm going live this morning. Y'all see my new couch? Ain't she cute? So after my last live, I had a couple of people reach out to me, and I was actually talking to a certain young lady yesterday. But first, let me touch on the part where I came on here for. I see people are creating their own narratives and taking away what they think or what they feel, or because they're friends with such and such, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. But I never said that I felt some type of way because bigger platform girls don't want to be friends with me. I never said that. The reference that I made in the video, I said that sometimes people with bigger platforms tend to not take smaller platform people seriously because of how many views they get or how many subscribers they have, so on and so forth. So the situation that I started the video off with, talking about the little situation with the girl who we were supposed to meet up, and all that type of stuff. The point behind that was, if you knew you had no intentions on meeting up, why waste my time? Hey babe, why waste my time? That was the whole point of me even mentioning that part. Because she has been growing her following, she's doing her thing or whatever. And I also said that sometimes bigger platform people or people, tend to charge maybe someone with a smaller platform, that type of thing, to like meet up or do meet and greets or like go to dinner or whatever for in exchange for promotion and all of that. So, hey Brittany, hey Mimi, hey Sheikah. So I'm just like, I'm confused. So someone sent me a clip or the video of someone who is friends with one of the said, well, I didn't really mention nobody. Yeah, I kept that video so general because I wasn't just speaking on one person. Yes, there were things that were specifically about the event and the hostess, but certain parts of it, like me talking about don't forget where you came from, and also the whole mean girl thing. When I say don't forget where you came from, my point was everybody started somewhere. You know what it was like to be in someone's position who has a smaller subscriber count, and how much work it took for you to, build your platform or to get out there, or how you probably try to reach out to other people with bigger platforms that probably snubbed you just for you to get into that position and do the same thing to other people. That was my point. Not once have I ever said, oh my God, I feel some type of way, oh, my feelings hurt because people don't want to hang out with me. When did I ever say that? Well, that's what I took out of it. Well, you took the wrong thing out of it, man. You kept repeating the same thing. I honestly didn't watch the whole thing. I probably watched 3 minutes of the video because I already knew where that was going. So I'm just like, once I heard what I heard in the beginning from the timestamp that was sent to me, I'm just like, where did she get this from? And then once you say, okay, well, I'm cool with such and such, to me, that's you already coming a little biased, So I don't know. I never said that. I never said that. I never said that. I I have friends. I have friends in real life. I have a business, YouTube. I'm trying to tap in, or I'm tapping in, taking it a little bit more seriously in hopes of one day, that'll alleviate me from all the, what I have going on now. But I'm just not thirsty I personally am not thirsty to put myself in uncomfortable situations that I don't want to be in, or to be around people. And it's not just about these girls, these specific girls. There's more to life, y'all. It's more to life. Hey, Justin. I'm just talking about some of the things that were discussed yesterday in my DMs. And I had a young lady reach out to me. She was like, girl, I was at the event. I wish I had met you at the event. And she was like, I wish I had worked the room a little bit more. I'm not going to lie. I was so hungry. Everybody functions differently, right? She was like, where was the baby shower food? Where were the sandwiches, the pasta, the chicken, something? Like, I'm not the only person that had this experience. Granted, okay, yeah, other people had a better experience, or some people just took it for what it was and whatever, but I decided to speak out on my experience. I don't know why people try to make if someone chooses to do something, that doesn't make it a bad thing. It does not make it a bad thing because I publicly decided to speak up on my experience. That was my experience. And not just that, like my last situation or whatever, now people all in their feelings and stuff and contacting me, oh, you need, like, I lived 10 years of my life with someone. I have a right to speak on this. I'm not bashing nobody. I'm not saying nothing negative about nobody. I'm simply just speaking on my experience, what I went through in life, what I have experienced in life. And like I said, the video wasn't just about these sad girls. I've had issues in the past. All I said was whenever I tried to put myself in these spaces to quote unquote network and do all these different things, the attitudes that you get and the things that are being said around the room, I just know I'm not alone, baby. That's all I know. That's all I know. Totally understandable. No, ma'am, that's not a good thing. I mean, that's not a bad thing. It's not. Y'all always want to cover up somebody just because they want to talk about what they have going on. I had that situation with I don't know, I think she was just a little, some type of way. This guy I used to deal with years ago. I had just friends on him. He got married to some chick. We became friends. But when she got mad at me one day, I think I spoke about him or something like that. We have been friends for over 10 years. And I said something about him. Why are you speaking on my husband? Why are you, girl, if you don't get out of my face, what? You weren't even around. So what does it have to do with you? Like, huh? Stop inserting yourself in places you don't belong or places you don't understand. Like, it just don't make sense. It don't make sense to me. I wanted to go also. I'm an upcoming blogger, and I would have been a too, especially if you're spending all this money just to go. Yeah, she was just like, we paid $150. You at least expect some food. That was it. Hungry. I keep saying that. We were starving. Up until the event ended, food was still coming out. Like, what? Maybe some people ate. Some people weren't worried about food. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody's experience can be different from different aspects. Everybody's experience was not the same. But I never said that I feel some type of way because bigger YouTubers don't want to be friends with me. I never said that. Or please find the timestamp so I can help clarify this. Please. Knowing us, we be hungry, okay? We be hungry. I haven't out all morning. I went to a couple of different stores, did a little shopping. I was actually, I think it started at 2. And I didn't realize how far I was. I think initially the Airbnb I wanted to book was going to be a little closer. But it was gone by the time I went ahead and tried to schedule it or whatever. So I think I ended up maybe about 35 minutes from the venue or something like that. So I didn't get there till like right before 3. But I think she didn't arrive till maybe about 3:30 or something like that. A little bit after 3. So I was like, oh shit, I'm just on time. I'm rushing everything. I could have stopped and got me some food. But I was like, oh, it might be some appetizers. It might be this. It might be that. I don't know. Like, I've been to events. This was not a first. I've been to weddings. I've been to Nigerian weddings. They serve appetizers. They do all types of different shit. Like, it's not abnormal to expect to be fed at an event, especially one that you're purchasing a ticket for. I had one event, baby, they ran out of food. I had a wedding I went to. This big grand, this person who was, flossing on social media, all this type of stuff. Y'all, that wedding was so tacky. It was so bad. They ran out of food, or were running out of food. They ran out of plates. They ran out of silverware to the point where they had the little to-go boxes, the ones that fold in half, like you get from a restaurant or something, or you can buy at the store. And they were splitting them bitches in half and serving food on that. I was just like, what? Not Miss Big Boss. Not Miss Big Boss. Serving food on torn up styrofoam takeaway plates. Like, come on. Like, let's be for real. I never heard that people would make up their own narrative. Exactly. Girl, that's the word I was going to say earlier. I never heard that people would make up their own narratives to make themselves feel good. It's okay, Ava. They used to people just going with the flow and talking behind their back. Child, speak your truth. It's your experience. Absolutely. I totally agree. Not split. Yes. Y'all, damn, I just put it in the trash. How about to show you? They literally split the styrofoam to go boxes in half, and that's what they were serving food on. Yeah. So when it comes to certain expectations, not that I personally just hold people, I tend not to just hold people on this super high, um, what's the word? It's the word I'm looking for, because you just never know what can happen. But at least the basics, they could have had enough food, they could have had enough plates, they could have had something. In this case, we could have had food. I was just scrolling and I saw you like, who is this diva? I honestly, I'm telling you, I just got up. It's 9:30 in the morning. Well, 9:51 now at this point. I got to get ready to go to work. And I was like, let me hurry up, hop in the shower and make myself look like something so I could come on here. I picked up the first pair of earrings I saw. I'm just like, huh? What? Expectation, had them in heart. Yes, held them in heart. You just never know what to expect from people. You really don't. But to me, I don't feel like I was wrong to expect, in these cases these days, like they say, the bare minimum when it comes to certain things. There's nothing wrong with that. Next time, just say, oh, eat before because food will be served late or something. Like, give a disclaimer. I don't know. But like I said, this was not the only events that I had a bad experience. I talked about different things and people took out of it what they wanted to. I never say anybody was a bad person. I never said that I don't know what was said. Damn. Oh, when I was referencing, once again, when I said don't forget where you came from, I'm not talking about like how you grew up and nothing like that. That's not what I was referring to. But everybody's level of perception, everybody's level of comprehension, all of that clearly is different. Everybody's level of understanding is different. Happy Friday. What you getting into today, ladies? I'm going to work for me, and then tonight, well, I don't know what time I get off. I'm going to see if I can go get some crawfish with my friend, because I need me a good drink at this point, because I'm like, huh? Child down to the job. Said hi. Hi, Kanitra. Kanitra Marie, how are you doing? Was that particular event advertised with the understanding of food being served? This one? No. I mean, did it? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I just went and bought my ticket. Tickets were up for sale. I didn't want to miss it. I heard it, pay my money, and that was it. And then I figured the rest out after that. Like, even when I plan trips, I'll book my flight first, and then I worry about everything later. But I didn't pay attention if it was said, or not. But food, feed me, feed us. So yeah, so the young lady, she was just like, she had this a very similar experience. She was hungry. Unfortunately, that led her to not being able to work the room like she wanted to. Oh, that's what I was saying. Everybody's experience was different. You know, people might still be able to function when they're hungry. I know me, when my stomach is on a deathbed, baby. I can't think past that. I can't think straight. I'm just discombobulated. I hosted I think it was a candle. Was it our candle class we did? I had about 10 of my friends, and no, it was the candle class, because the next time I brought food. Okay, I ended up having to order a pizza. Y'all couldn't even focus. I couldn't mix I couldn't do nothing. I was just there until that food got there. I had to take a break and just replenish my body because I had not eaten all that. I had taken my niece and nephew out to Dave and Buster's the previous that morning or whatever. They had spent the whole weekend with me, but I just couldn't function. I can't think straight. Like when you're just deathly hungry, you can't function. So everybody's situation is different. Everybody operates differently. It's the last day of school for my kids. I'm going to the YMCA to try to enroll them in a camp. They're not about to drive me raggedy this summer. Oh yeah, school is ending. My sister told me that the kids out. I think yesterday was the last day of school. I'm like, we used to get out late. What's this, May? We used to get out like at the end of May, like May 27, May 28 or something like that. I'm like, it's kind of early, and then I don't even know when they go back to school. When I say I don't even keep up with stuff no more, I don't have any children, so until I hear something, I'm like, oh shit, it's Memorial Day, it's this day, it's that day, whatever holidays are coming up. That's how I'm able to keep up, because I'm just completely out the loop, because that's not my world, Although I do have nieces and nephews. My sister is a very last minute person. She'll be like, oh, there's this, he has a swim meet today, or he has this today or tomorrow, or something like that. And that stuff drives me crazy because I'm like, girl, you know I got to take off work. My schedule be booked, okay? I have to find the time, take some time off, or try to move things around. And it was the same finger food setup I ate before I came. Girl, I'm not about to. I look. I believe it was the expectation, and it appears they meant to be. They meant to be. Wait, I'm not reading that right. Hold on. And it appears they meant that to be the case, but things didn't go as planned with the catering situation. Yeah, I mean that's understandable. But even though, let's say, okay, the caterers messed up or something happened, I don't know. Like I said, I've experienced different things at different events. This was not the only one. But it's the type of food, the substance that, you know, the food. It was, somebody just mentioned finger foods. That's what it was. That's just what it was. She spent more time with her friends rather than her guests. Even if it was on the caterer's end, something should have been said to the attendees, even if it was done online. I'm talking about this us. You see the people coming, and like I mentioned in the video, there was like no particular system because even people that were bringing the food out didn't know which way to direct the food to go. Because usually when I go to certain events, they'll call like one table at a time, or they'll start at a certain area and then work the room or something like that. We like waving the people down. Hey, I didn't get any food. Hey, I didn't get this. Hey, I didn't get that. And then I guess it was also to the point where things were being rushed, and the sliders were raw in the middle. So you couldn't eat that. I had to like pick around it. You already hungry. So it's like now I gotta salvage what I got because I'm trying to sit here until this event is over, you know, that type of thing. I don't know, y'all. It was just, some people pay attention to stuff like that, some people don't. Some stuff bothers some people it don't. So that was mine and a whole bunch of other people. The amount of people that hit me up in my inbox, hey, I was there. I experienced the same thing. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm not alone. And this wasn't to like be, I just spoke on my experience. That's just what it was. Well, you should have reached out, could have reached out for what? I don't plan on going back. I said maybe if I lived in Atlanta, that was my first thought. But to do what I did, booking a flight, booking an Airbnb, because a lot of people did travel. There were a couple of people, I heard, you know, they came from Alabama, came from here, came from there, you know, came to Atlanta for the event. But to the extent of what I did, because when I travel, baby, I like to be comfortable. Okay, I rented a car, I had a nice one-bedroom Airbnb, you know, that type of thing. So for me personally, that was my choice, and that's how I wanted to do it, and that's what I did. But if my first thought was, okay, I would have to be here in Atlanta. I would not travel to go to this event if I was to attempt again. That was my first thought. But now it's like, yeah, I'm just, like I said, y'all, I'm just going to build my stuff one at a time. Any opportunities that I get, I'm not going to say I'm never going to go to any other events or anything like that. I will continue to give people chances. Oh, what I was saying was, oh, people are like, oh, you could have reached out to her. I don't plan on coming back and saying what. But then at the same time, I keep telling y'all the aftermath of everything, regardless of what my experience was, it didn't feel inviting. I didn't feel motivated to be like, okay, well, let me contact you. But I'm just like, this was the second runaround. The first time, I don't know if this one was bigger or not. Like, were there enough supplies? And, oh, that's another thing the girl touched on. She was like, it just kind of took away from my experience, which I agree with. While you're sitting there waiting on somebody, it's 8 people at a table with 2 scissors, right? So it takes away from your experience sitting there having to wait. You see something you're, you know, in your zone trying to cut and glue sticks also getting passed around, you know, and you have to sit there and wait. And she was like, her friend was kind of taking her time. I said, I don't fault the friend because I should be able to take my time as well. I was like, I get it. You know, to her, she was just waiting for a little minute, you know, to get the scissors passed back. It's just, you know, what was actually happening, the example. So having to sit there and wait for somebody who has a right to take their time to cut whatever they want and flip through their magazines or whatever, she said it took away from her experience, and I totally agree with that. And then some people forgot that we sharing scissors, so they put the scissors down. We looking for the scissors, just stuff like that. I don't know. Me personally, once again, like, I understand sometimes people throw events and try to have a certain aesthetic and all that type of stuff, but some things just have to be very practical. Some things have to be practical. Some shit just gotta make sense. I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. My mouth getting dry. I should have brought some water. When I get to talking, let me see. We were literally begging. Okay, so Kanitra, you were there. We were literally begging the caterers to come to us. If a person doesn't know how to put on an event from every angle, they need to hire the right person to fill the gaps. I agree. If I have the means to do certain things, I'm not, especially when you're trying to do things at a certain caliber, because there's a beginning phase. Like me, I stick to my level right now. What I'm doing, my events that I've ever done, well, not events, but like when I do like little get-togethers, we've done candle making, I've thrown pool parties, we did what's the other one? A perfume making class. I try to keep it to a minimum of 10 girls. I get the goodie bags. I go get everything. Like I had a really cute setup. I provide all the food. I brought the mimosas, because this was I was hosting this, right? So for me personally, I stay on my level where I'm at right now, or what I'm comfortable with. Not where I'm at, but what I'm comfortable with. So if I was to do something a little bit more grand, if I have the means to, I definitely am not doing that by myself. Especially if I'm the type of person, let's say, I'm not going to say that, but I'll just say, if I need help, I'm going to hire help if I have the means to. When I know I have the means to. That's all I'm saying. So I've seen people plan weddings. I'm like, girl, why you don't just hire? You're able to. You walking around with all these bags, all these expensive things or whatever, all these expensive material things. Why not hire an event planner? Why not hire a wedding planner? Oh, I'm just so stressed out. Even one of them little shows. I don't know if it was the Housewives or one of them. Oh, I'm just so stressed out on this. Girl, hire an event planner. Like, what is the issue? Me personally, I can't feel sorry for you when you display that you have the means to do certain things, and you on TV complaining, talking about you stressed out behind your wedding, when you could simply just hire somebody. You still have your say-so and input and all of that. That's the whole point of planning, right? So I don't know. Some shit just gotta make sense, child. I don't know. We literally were begging the caterers to come to us. Yes, we were. Flagging them down. If a person doesn't know how to put on an event from every angle, they need to hire someone or the right person to fill the gaps. As a caterer, that would have been an issue for me for sure. That is terrible. Checking my head, girl. 2 scissors per table is terrible. That's beyond sad. I was at the table with... Oh! Girl, you at my table? You at my table. I was at the table with Ava. She not lying. I just wanted my own scissors and my own glue stick. That's it. But next time, depending on what the event is, y'all, I'm bringing my purse. I'm going to have a big enough bag to put whatever I need to, and I'm coming with some snacks. And I will bring enough to share just in case. Throwing a couple pieces. Couple of pieces. Even like now, like it be working in a salon, a space with like sweets and stuff. You just never know who's gonna need what. I've had people come have to borrow personal, not borrow, but hey, do you have personal items? So I always carry like extra tampons or something in my purse, because I just never know who I'm gonna. It never fails. Somebody always needs something. So I'm person thinking about others. So I will bring enough snacks. At least about a good 5 people gonna be able to snack out of my bag. So I'm just, and everything is a life lesson. Everything is a lesson. You live and you learn. You live and you learn. That's it. At the point, there was a very, yeah. Why I can't read. At the point, there was a very distasteful live going on while they were still at the event. How could they expect someone to come to them individually? That's what I was talking about, the aftermath. So I'm just like, even if I decided to be like, okay, well, let me hit such and such up and, let them know what my thoughts were about the event, or that didn't encourage me to want to do that. I was just like, ew. It just put such a bad taste in my mouth. Me personally, like I said, I'm the only one, it seems like, that, said something or whatever. But for me personally, that was a turn off for me. That was such a turn off for me. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I tried. I know this baby ain't lying. Good night. I don't lie. When the people spent their hard-earned money to come see you, the logistics were all over the place. Yep, just immature and sad, especially after those people sacrifice their time and money to attend. That's how I eat before I go places, especially if I'm hungry. I was at the one the year before, and it was the same thing. I feel like you should learn from previous mistakes. More focus was placed on making it look good rather than the organization. That's what I'm talking about. The aesthetics. Yeah, I know you want these cute little utensils, but then I ain't gotta say it. Y'all saying it. Like, I don't have to say it. And I wonder that, I'm like, the previous year, were there enough scissors to go around for there to not be? Oh, that's what I was saying earlier. I don't know if this one was bigger than the last one, but you know how many scissors you have and how many tickets you're selling. But I guess sometimes, and that's why, honestly, that's why it's important as a business owner myself to give feedback. Even one of my friends, he has a food business. He does street tacos, and he sets up right outside my old location. So yeah, there was one day, or well, maybe a couple times, where let's just say either the meat was too hard, one day it was just so damn salty. I was like, what did you do? I had to go back, and he tasted it. He was like, oh shit. And he had been serving the food all day. Nobody said nothing. And I came to him as a friend because I'm like, I know this is your business. This is your reputation, whatever. And I let him know. And he tasted that meat, and he was like, damn, he ended up dumping it because it was just so bad. But I guess because if nothing was brought to, the person's attention, it's like, okay, well, it wasn't a big deal. I'm gonna just go ahead and do it again. Or it's not at the forefront of it's not a Lord have mercy. What's the word I'm looking for? Y'all get what I'm saying. So I don't know. But in this case with my friend, I felt comfortable enough to go and talk to him because I just did. He allowed that space. So when it comes to feedback, with me being a business owner, and also just being in the industry for as long as I've been, it's just, and seeing things, feedback is important. Feedback is definitely important. I know sometimes we just take shit and just run with it and be like, okay, well, I did that. Because I've done that a couple of times, even with restaurants. Okay, well, I'm just not coming back. Or some people just leave a review online or something like that. But the people I have approached is like, okay, well, thank you so much for letting me know. Like, I have no issue doing that. But I have to feel like I can. I have to feel like that door is open. Or if whether or not I want to put my energy into that. And that's not always the case, so that's just what it was. And the price, and for the price, the expectation was definitely high. $150 for chicken nuggets and salad cups is crazy. Where the chicken? There were chicken nuggets? There were chicken nuggets where? It was something that came out like towards the end. I forgot what it was, but we didn't get none of that. We didn't get none of that. And from your vlog, those trips not selling out like usual was predicted based on her new behavior lately. Chicken and biscuits, I didn't get none of that. I think one or two people at the table get one? and then they ran out. But that was at the end. That was at the end. So, oh, child, I was on DoorDash in the car. Once I got in the car, I was on DoorDash, and my food met me at the house. My 30-minute drive, it met me at the house. And I probably did a little too much just because of how hungry I was. But I ended up having some leftover for breakfast. Chicken. Yeah, I think it was something. Yeah, it was something else that came out that never touched. Never got to me. And I just felt bad for Mimi. Like Mimi was hungry. Poor Mimi. I had to take her slider that she had because the sauce. She said she didn't like the sauce or something. So she was just like she wouldn't eat it. Cause I'm that type of way about certain sauces. I'm not really a saucy person. I eat stuff dry before I even like ketchup or regular condiments. I eat the shit dry before I even look for sauce. So she definitely didn't have nothing. So the people who didn't even have anything, I don't know, y'all. But I'm sorry. I keep trying to let it go, but people keep talking to me. People keep asking. Or people trying to like create this smear campaign of, oh, she should have done this or she could. You do what you do with your situation and how you felt, or you speak on your experience and I'm gonna speak on it was not the same. But don't put words in my mouth saying that I feel some type of way because larger content creators don't want to be my friend. I never said that. I never said that. Ever. The open bar was the only structure. The drinks are good. The drinks are good. We didn't get none. The drinks were good. The bartender, the black guy, he did an awesome job. I like to stick with the same person, so he did a great job. But yeah, but don't put words in my mouth. If you don't understand something or if you got questions, feel free to contact me. I was gonna comment on her video, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and go live and say something. Yes, the drinks were good. So yeah, I never said that. My feelings weren't hurt because home chick didn't. When somebody just doesn't respond, I already know what that is. But my whole point was, don't waste people's time. If you know you're not gonna do something, don't say you're gonna do it. We've been talking about this. We've been talking at least a month or two. I'm coming to Atlanta. We gonna meet up or hang out or do whatever. Go get drinks. I think I was even gonna buy the girl drinks. Like I'm treating you because I think her birthday had just passed or something like that. So she don't know that, but that's what I was planning on doing. So I'm not looking for anybody to hold my hand and feel sorry or nothing. That's not what it was. I said going to this event or trying to put myself in certain spaces, I just don't know how to be fake. I can't fake the funk. I just cannot. So moving forward, yes, I will still go to other things because I like to stay busy. I like to, cause my sister, she was like, you just want to go, huh? I was like, yeah, it was something to do. Why not? If I'm able to, I'm gonna go. Am I always gonna have a good experience? No, but I can say I went. I didn't know you paid all that to come. I live in Atlanta, and we could have linked after. Okay, because I went home. I just went home and sat on that couch and ate my food and went to sleep and got up the next day and went to Target to find a suitcase. Seems the person never intended to meet up with you when they switched out. There was no issue with you speaking on it, rather. Seems that the person never intended to meet up with you when they switched out. There was no issue with you speaking on it, rather they were a creator or not. Yeah, so it was just y'all stop wasting people's time. And I'm like that in business. Like when people be texting me, oh, I want an appointment for this, oh, I want this, you steady coming, you ain't booked a consultation, you ain't paid a deposit. Like, I'm not gonna take you seriously until you show me signs like you're making a move. I done told you 3 times to book a consultation. You keep coming back asking to book a consultation, we're gonna talk about it. That type of thing. So I'm very familiar with a lot of things or running things a certain way and all that type of stuff. I don't know. But like I said, that's just me. But it's 10:15. Let me get my ass up because, baby, my client be on time. Her ass be at the salon like 30, 40 minutes early before me. So let me go ahead and put my clothes on. But I just want to, talk to y'all real quick, clear that up. I never said that. And if that's what you took out of it, I'm sorry, but that's definitely not correct. Okay? Yes, girl, edit that vlog. I think I'm edit one to sometime this weekend. So I have a date to meet up with one of my client friends. Y'all, we are driving to the country to go to Home Goods because at Home Goods, Marshalls, and whoever, because I'm still trying to find some home decor and stuff. So we have planned that we're going to drive an hour out of Houston to go find some good shit. Because y'all, that stuff really does matter depending on what side of town you're on. If y'all didn't know, I have definitely noticed you will find better things in certain areas. So yes, on Sunday we are going to the country parts outside of Houston to go shopping. So I'm looking forward to that. That's what I have planned for the weekend. I really don't have anything else planned. But anyway, you guys have a great weekend. I don't know if I'll be back on here or anything like that. I'm going to Jacksonville for a beach vacation this weekend. Oh, come get me. Put me in your suitcase, girl. Put me in your suitcase. Everybody keeps talking about Jacksonville. I've never been. I was just telling somebody, my ass is always just in Miami. I don't know what it is about Miami for me that's very comforting. The food. Miami has some. I'm a seafood girl, so I go for the vibes. And I've never been disappointed. So I try other places. I've been to Orlando years ago, but I went to Disney, so that don't count. But anyway, I love y'all. Thank you guys so much for your continued love, your continued support. I need to go get my nails done. They still not done. And I will talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye, y'all. Make sure you check out the most current vlogs that I've put up. And follow me on Instagram at Naija Queen, Naiija Queen. And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.